Caelan, Andy talked there about yesterday about obviously reference to the newer players, but that the responsibility being on the established players to perform and almost guide those players through the game and maintain performance levels of the team. Is that your sense of what's needed from the likes of yourself tomorrow?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's across the group. Even the guys who aren't playing have been mentioned. There's responsibility on them to train well, to prepare us as best as possible. So it's definitely a spread across the group. More being on the experienced players, given the young guys have a lot on their plate. There's going to be extra nerves in their early caps anyway. So trying to take a bit of weight off them, and through our performances largely, through how we trained, through leading meetings a little bit more, and through how we play tomorrow as well.
If you had a word in the year, you'll obviously have Cormac right beside you tomorrow, and having been through that as a younger player yourself, what would be the message to those players when they go out on such a momentous day for them?
Enjoy it is the big one that we always speak about. The two lads in particular getting their debuts this week, like they're pretty calm and confident players and people anyway. They've come in pretty seamlessly. You look at Gus in particular, who's only 21, and he's had a pretty steep rise from captaining Blackrock in the SCT a couple of years ago to 20s to Leinster, emerging Ireland. So he's had a pretty seamless transition the whole way, and he's settled in really well in the group, trained really well, and he's got his well-deserved opportunity now. And Izzy as well has showed his class. He's gone on a bit of a longer journey through the sevens and whatnot, and then he showed his class in Ulster over the last season or so. So I feel they're definitely about ready, and I'm looking forward to see how they go tomorrow.
Just in terms of where the team's come over the last few weeks, we obviously sense last week of putting right what went wrong the first week and improving on that again. How do you do that when the team's been changed, with so many changes, and try and keep that trajectory going?
Because the kind of foundations of what we do are very clear for the whole group, whether you're playing or not. When we're training, we're not training like the opposition necessarily. We're training to build the right habits. So the whole group are working towards the same goal, and regardless of who's in, you're expected to perform to a certain level. Obviously, there is a bit of cohesion between, say, centres or back three that needs to be built, but we feel we've built that pretty well through the week.
What's the talk from the Fiji camp that Ireland are a little vulnerable?
I haven't seen too much of it, to be honest with you. I think they'll probably be confident based off a few of their results and how they've gone against Wales and Spain last week. If it's around the discipline they're looking at, I'm not sure exactly, but there's a lot of belief within our camp still. We feel we've got the right people showing us the way, and there's excitement about what we can do. The discipline has obviously been talked about a lot, and it's been an area that's been very good for us historically. So yeah, we're looking forward to getting back on track there tomorrow.
And does it bring a bit more needle into this match?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we definitely respect them, how they play. Like the two things you kind of look at are their pace and their skill set, the way they throw the ball around, but also they're a very powerful team. It's going to be a very physical game. I remember the one a couple of years back, for how physical it was. So it's going to be the same tomorrow, and yeah, looking forward to the challenge of that.
Cheers. Kieran?
Hey, Ken, sorry, this is Aston already. Just first home start tomorrow for Jamie Osborne. Andy's clearly been pretty impressed last couple of weeks. Can you just talk about what you see from that level and kind of make this step test level look so seamless?
Yeah, a lot of the young guys coming in just seem very calm and kind of assured on the pitch in particular, backing their skill sets, playing what's in front of them. And like Jamie's had some unbelievable performances. South Africa obviously was very good, but with Leinster for the last number of years, I think he's been top class. And this season in particular, he's taken it to another level. His backfield coverage, his counter-attack threat, his left boot obviously is ridiculous. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him tomorrow as well.
Okay, any further questions for the live section? No, okay, I'll invite Simon if you want to start off, and then Jerry.
Yeah, hi Caelan. Just wondering in terms of that inability to score after half time, you put your finger on what it is? Is it simply the quality of the opposition defences? Or are there kind of tweaks that you've made under Andrew Goodwin that maybe need ironing out still?
I think it's more the discipline. We had 5 consecutive penalties against New Zealand in the second half in that period, and that gave them a ton of momentum, possession, field position. Then against Argentina, between the 35th and 65th, we gave away a number of penalties as well. They had 9 line-outs, we didn't have any. So it's largely down to our discipline when it's coming, the compounding effect of it, more than anything to do with our attack, I believe.
Are you confident you can, if you get flowing, that will kind of look after itself in terms of this sport?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Jerry?
Storm birds hitting tomorrow looks pretty horrific. The only good thing is you get these weather forecasts in advance. I know you can't give too much away, but you have to tailor your game plan in the way we're playing to some degree, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. Possession, territory become a lot more important. Set piece, the breakdown, discipline again is going to be even more important. Building a score. If you go kind of 2 scores clear, then the opposition has to play the game a different way and start forcing things a little bit, which will be tricky in the conditions. So it's still a little bit of an unknown how it's going to be. It's obviously supposed to be lashing overnight. Whether it'll be greasy or actually raining during the game, I'm not sure, but it's definitely going to be a factor we'll have to consider.
How do you feel about these kind of conditions? I mean, it's a winter sport, I suppose you're well used to it, you're hardly that from Mayo, yeah?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a different game, but it's still very enjoyable. A bit more attritional, bit more. I mean, it's good for forwards. We'll be looking forward to getting stuck in.
I say when you win in conditions like that, if you do win, if you ever have wins in conditions like that, there's almost a better feeling in the dressing room afterwards, is there?
Yeah, definitely. When you're soaking wet and muddy, it's kind of more satisfying. So that'll be the goal, definitely.
Thanks. Sinead, then Michael.
Caelan, first start with Sam Prendergast. How has he run the week and how much confidence do you have in him for tomorrow?
Yeah, a lot of confidence in him. He's a top class player. Like his skill set I mentioned last week is up there with the best I've seen. Some of the stuff he does in training is ridiculous, and he's starting to bring the sort of game management and leading the week, like you said as well. He's growing in that department too. So yeah, I'm excited to see him getting the opportunity at 10 and looking forward to seeing him take it tomorrow.
And you mentioned the discipline. Would conceding 13 penalties for the 3rd week in a row just be unacceptable for this team?
Yeah, definitely. It's something we've spoken about a lot over the last couple of weeks. There's no kind of panic buttons being pushed, but it's just about not being desperate. I gave away 2 last week, which were just sloppy offside. So there's an onus on everyone to be a little bit more focused, a little bit sharper there, and take no chances.
Thanks. Michael?
Obviously, there's changes week to week at club level in personnel. When there's 7 changes to a team at test level, what does that do to a team in terms of freshening things up and just everybody having to be kind of cohesive in a short spell?
Yeah, definitely puts a little bit of pressure to get that cohesion. But again, the way we train, there's lots of guys kind of moving parts anyway, so the cohesion comes pretty naturally through how we train. But there's also an exciting element of the changes of giving guys chances for the first starts, first debuts, and trying to put all that together is an exciting challenge to get right tomorrow.
And how excited are you playing in the back row with Cormac coming into it?
Big time, yeah. He's been class for Ulster, like I mentioned. Some of the stuff he does in training as well in terms of his athletic ability is top class. I've obviously played him a few times for Ulster, and he's gotten around me a couple of times, so I'm looking forward to being on the same side as him tomorrow.